So this is a clinker,
It's a clinker!
and this is a retake of an earlier take because I'm still learning this whole YouTube filming stuff, and I forgot to turn the volume on the last one. Anyway, consequently, it's going to be the next Forge Fire drop is going to be we're just going to do a 21st century version of a 19th century film. So, I hope you enjoy it. I have to find a good soundtrack to put with it. But anyway, on this clinker, let's see here. I recently watched a video with Skullgrim. I like his videos. I like Chad's videos. All you young bucks over there. At least you guys are a bit younger than me. But still. Anyway, um, but he mentioned something interesting, and I have a feeling there's a lot of people that come across these things, and they mention it without thinking about it. Really, um, this was in his little uh, Knights versus Vikings. Now, a lot
of surviving armor fragments from the time. This is where we get to the crux of the issue. Can a Viking beat a knight? In your dreams, maybe. Think about it. Realistically. What does the most well-equipped Viking have at his disposal? Iron helmet. The knight has a steel helmet, and
a lot of his arguments I can agree with, except for one where he mentions that the Vikings would have been using iron,
iron helmet. The knight has a steel helmet,
and the knight would have been using steel. This is bogus because and as I would steel, uh, just halfway fan of that channel, and anybody with a forge and an anvil knows uh, iron doesn't play too nice with a hammer, even when it's hot. And I'll show you little clips of the videos of what I'm talking about here.
Whoa, that's old. Now, not only do I now know that, but I also know that though this is largely composed of iron, obviously, there's a lot of other stuff in these, supposedly. About 7% nickel, 0.43% cobalt, a quarter of a percent of phosphorus, 87 parts per million of gallium, 407 parts per million of germanium.
Iron doesn't play too nice with a hammer, even when it's hot. Now then, so the Vikings were steel. Yes, the Romans had steel. The everybody from the start of the Iron Age had steel. So what's the difference? Well, the knight would have had more predictable, reliable um, grades of steel. Viking probably less, to a lesser extent. Would they still be able to heat treat? Yes. Um, could they case harden it? Yes. It's not. And so here we have my forge. Now, why am I behind the camera this time? Well, let's still show you something. I'll set this down. Set this. See it from the steel's angle. Then it goes down a couple inches. There's some coal coke left over, and piping. Why did I bring it here? I mean, it's not drastically different. What's different is the fuels. I'm using coal. That's just me because I believe that coal affords me a higher degree of safety. Now, is this to say that I can't do this with wood? No, not at all. But anyway, let's get back to it. So, Vikings, were they using steel? Yes. They were using carbon steel. Were the Romans using steel? Yes, they were using carbon steel. Oh, how do you know this? I know this from Alex Steele, but I'm going to reiterate again. Iron, pure iron, will not forge. But, yes, it's steel. Is it a good grade of steel? That's debatable. How good were their smiths? How were they experimenting? Were they just taking the ore, smelting it down, and piecing it together as best they could? That's the debate. So, to conclude this, no. Your average Viking would have used steel, just like the knight. However, the quality of the steel, that's where the difference lies. Is by the time you get full plate armor for knights, the metallurgists of the Middle Ages get better at making steel, making it more predictably. Um, they're starting to figure out. They're starting to play. You're starting to see play with alloys because you start to see aluminum pop up and other harder work with metals. So you got probably during the late, probably towards the late Middle Ages, you're probably having them experiment with different types of steels. And with blast furnace technology, you can make it more predictably. You can fine tune your carbon content, and you can start experimenting with throwing different metals in there and alloy it. That makes it possible that the knight could be working with um, a superior quality of steel. Now, to call it iron, it's kind of, in my opinion, that's kind of silly. But then I'm being pedantic here. I'm nitpicking Skullgrim just to nitpick him. So anyway, yes. So when you hear people like Skullgrim and the folks refer to early steels as iron, it's just an early steel. It's a primitive steel. It's probably blue steel, or yeah, in the Vikings' case, it's most likely blue steel. It's not iron. It's not pure iron. No. No. But it is steel. It's just more of a wild, naturally occurring steel. So, This is One Truck and Smith signing off for this clinker.